Hello everyone, it's Jama Malmy here, and today I'm sharing my organization and the start of my December daily album. Now I'm a little bit late starting this because honestly I was overthinking everything and it takes me a long time to decide my exact direction. So I thought I would talk you through that thought process as well if you tend to overthink about things like I do. But first let's start with how I organized my products that I'm going to use. It's actually pretty simple. What I did was I started with the collection that I want to use. I knew I wanted to use close to my heart's Christmas Story paper collection. So I have that in here. That was my starting point. And then what I did was I curated a bunch of other products, mostly Christmas products, some other products just from my stash from around my craft room. So I am working in a 6x8 album. I have done December daily one other time before in 2018, but it was very simple. So I am stepping it up a notch this year. I've watched a lot of Ali Edwards's videos. She is the creator of December daily and has given me a lot of great ideas, but I do want to keep it fairly simple and stick to this 6x8 album because this is what all my 6x8 mini albums are in. I like them to look uniform. It's a nice 3-ring binder. It's not too big and overwhelming. I don't want these taking up a ton of space, but I do want to document all of those special, nostalgic, magical memories of the season, right? Like that is my goal. But I want to use, I have so much scrapbooking supplies from my normal scrapbooking, and if you are new to my channel, I post mostly 12 by 12 pages here. So if you're looking for scrapbooking inspiration, be sure to subscribe to my channel for more. But I am going to be sharing quite a few 6x8 December daily projects this month. So all that said, I have curated products from my craft room that will go with that Christmas Story collection, and I've put them all here in this bin. This is a bin from Lowe's. It is in the closet organization section, and I learned about these bins from Erin at Crafty Concepts with Erin. She shared a video on how she organizes her stamps and dies in this size. So this is now how I store my stamps and dies. But I got a bigger one too because I thought it would be useful, and it's definitely been useful for this. So in this size here is all of my, well, this is half of my Christmas stamps and some dies. I just always keep my Christmas stamps in this, so I just pulled my bin. This is my bin of my newer and favorite Christmas stamps and dies. And then I've also added the Moxie stamp set, alphabet stamp set, and it comes with coordinating dies because that's how I'm going to be doing most, if not all, of my numbers. So I just stuck those here in the back and grabbed this. So let me set this aside and I'm going to show you my bin here. Okay, so like I said, I started with the Christmas Story collection. Now this paper pack and some of the products are sold out already, but the scrapbook kit is still available. And this is typically what I start with. And if you are familiar with my channel, you know I get these scrapbook kits a lot because they're a great value. They come with the entire paper pack and sticker sheet, as well as some extra items. So let me show you what is in that in case you're not familiar. Okay, so if you do 12 by 12 scrapbooking, this does have 3 2-page layouts that are completely designed for you, and the kit comes with everything to make them, including this guide, which has the cutting instructions and the assembly instructions. So if you wanted to just put these pages together exactly as designed, you have everything you need to do that, and there will be leftovers as well. What I like to do is take this kit and take all of those extra elements that come with it and do my own thing. Sometimes I might follow the designs in the guide, but I really like all the extra things that come with this kit. So you get some gold die cut pieces. There's some stars and little like ribbon things. And then there's some wood grain. This is like a thick paper board that looks like wood grain, and there's some leaves and tags and asterisks and stuff like that. And then you have this sticker sheet that has the really pretty gold foil on it. Let's see if we can get that to shine, and those really fun stickers that I will be incorporating. And then you also get the full paper pack. So This is the regular paper pack, which is sold out, but you can still get it in this kit, at least at the time of this recording. And so everything is two-sided. If you're not keen on the black background that this offers, this has been a really popular pattern, but then there's been a lot of people who don't like how dark it is. So you can either use it sparingly or just use the other side. I love this green and those stars and vines and everything on the other side as well. We've got the plaid, and then here's the other side of that. I probably won't be using much of this. This is not my favorite pattern, and I really like this pattern. So that is the paper pack that's in the kit. And then you also get a few sheets that are exclusive to the kit. Let's see, there's two of this one that's just kind of got some vines on it. And then this one I love. I love this plaid and then this like sweater look that you get, and it should be wide enough to include in your December daily if you want. It's definitely more than half of this page. So if you do the 6-inch wide one, then you should have plenty there if you want to use it for that. You have some cardstock colors as well. And then there's these die cut sheets. And this is what I really love about these kits, is that you get all of these exclusive die cuts. It's kind of like an ephemera pack that you might get with a collection. And so they pop out, as you can see, some of them are popping out on their own. They pop out really easily. So there's a bunch of tags. Here are these like little scallops. And then here we've got some leaves on this side. And then the other side, we've got like little gifts and some tags and banners and scallop things. And then you have this big circle, which might be too big for a 6x8 album. You could like cut it in half and use it in a couple of places, or save that for 12x12 scrapbooking. But that is what is in the kit. And then I also have some other things from the collection as well. This was one of the paper packs. And then I have the pocket cards and these embellishments. I think these embellishments are sold out. They were so fun. It's basically a bigger pack of those little pop-out embellishments I showed you from the kit. And then I do believe that these pocket cards or Picture My Life cards are still available. I love using these to stretch my kits. There's a lot of like journaling spots. You can do just like, you know, put these in the pockets. I'm sure that I'm going to be using the pockets, and I'll show those to you, the 4x6 and the 3x4 pocket pages for my album as well. They're all two-sided with different orientations. Usually there's different colorways on the back too. Some of these look like they're the same. So that one's different. It's got red on one side, blue on the other. The little popcorn strands, so you can add these to the kit as well. So usually what I like to do with a mini album like this, so like I said, this is my second time doing a Project Life type album, but I have done mini albums in the past. So what I do is I like to start with a collection, and this is going to be my main focus, my color choices and all of that. And then I like to pull in things from my craft room and from my stash, because we love using up our stash, right? And I've got so many Christmas products and other products that I've collected over the years that I like to kind of, you know, curate. I heard that word recently from Stacy Julian. I love the word curate, because I did very thoughtfully and carefully go through my stash and pulled all of the items that I thought I might use for this project. And the way I've organized these is, you can get like organizers specifically with dividers, and they're kind of built for using pocket cards, or specifically for this project, putting all your embellishments in them. What I found is this bin is useful for so many things, so when I'm done with Project Life, I can use it for something else. And then I got these little containers from Target. They're very inexpensive, they're just plastic, and I actually use these for organizing small things in my Alex drawers, and there's some other sizes as well. So I've got a small one inside of this bigger one. So here's another size one. So I've just tucked these inside here, And so that way the front has some smaller compartments and the back is just like, you know, taller things that are stuck in there, and these containers are holding them up so they don't just flop down. And then I've also got some bigger things back here. This is just a board that I have holding up my paper so it doesn't flop back. So let me show you what I've got in these little containers. I started doing my numbers. So I saw Janice and Julie using that Moxie alphabet that I showed you in my stamp bin to create their numbers. I might, you know, alternate some numbers and do different kinds, but I love this gold glitter. I used the Ranger Gold Tencel embossing powder, so it's gold with gold glitter, and I stamped it with that stamp set, the Moxie alphabet stamp set, in Versamark, and then put that embossing powder on it, and then there's the die cut to cut it out, and so I stamped it onto the black so it would have that black border, and I just really love how that shines. I already know that I'm going to be using a lot of gold glitter paper in my album, and this worked perfectly. So let me show you something that I've already made. It's a really close match. It's not perfect, right? But it doesn't have to be super perfect. There's also some, you know, some brands have this really yellowy gold. This is the Close to My Heart glitter paper, which is more of a toned down gold. It's not that really yellowy gold. And so I thought that this matched. It would go with this yellowy gold too, but it really matches this one better. So, you know, I have pulled all of this out. I might use it if there's not glitter paper on the page in small doses, but it's a little bit too yellowy to match most of the glitter in my project. So I do have that, and then I've got a bunch of little die cut pieces from making Christmas cards and tags that I've just stuck in this little bin. And then here I've got little like veneer snowflakes, wood veneer snowflakes that I picked up at Hobby Lobby years ago, and then little packages, like little bits that I have left of sparkles and pearls and stuff like that, little smaller things. I've got these little ribbons, and then this one I've got my small shaker kits. These will make little shakers. I'm probably going to incorporate that. I've got these little deer. Again, it's that more yellowy gold, but might mix some of those in. And then I pulled in some embellishments. These are just ones I had in my stash. I've got the veneer hearts. This is the collection from last year, I think, and there's lots of great little Christmas pieces in there. And then this is from Fresh Paint, which might be a little unexpected for Christmas, but it's got a lot of red and white and black hearts and stars and arrows and things like that that I could use. So I just pulled things that I thought I might be able to use. I found these Heidi swap tags recently at Tuesday morning, and so I will probably mix some of those in, as well as make some gift tags with these. I thought they were really pretty. These are some die cut pieces from last year that I might try to incorporate. This is the evergreen color, which is not in the Christmas Story kit. Christmas Story has pine, but I did use the evergreen in this cut file that I showed you. This is a Paige Evans cut file that I backed while watching TV one night. And this, I really love this pattern, and it's the evergreen color. And I like that it's kind of a brighter, not so dark green. So I am going to be mixing that in my album as well. And then this is where I've got my flip flaps. I know I'm going to be using flip flaps. I use these on my regular scrapbook pages as well, and they're going to come in handy to add extra photos to my pages, especially since we're working on small pages. And it's just a fun little interactive piece to add to your album. And it keeps your photos protected. So it comes in lots of sizes. There's 2x2, 3x3. I've grabbed there's 4x6, 4x4, 3x4, and then I've got more that are easily reachable if I need more as well. But I did go back and forth on whether or not I wanted to keep everything in a page protector or not. And what I decided was, since I print my photos glossy, and since my kids love to look through the albums, I'm going to keep everything in page protectors, which means that my photos will be protected in these flip flaps, and I will be using page protectors for most, if not all, of my pages in my album as well. I've also got these little acrylic pieces that were from a mini album kit that Close to My Heart offered earlier this year. I never created the kit, but I have been using pieces from it for 12 by 12 scrapbooking, and these are in here. And so I'll show you some other pieces that I'm going to probably be using from the kit as well. So on this side, I've got this little piece that was from that same kit. It's created to be like a little flap, I think. So it's printed on both sides, and I think that that might be fun for some sort of little interactive flap, maybe with journaling hidden on the back or something like that. And then I've got all of my little like embellishment packs here of little like gems that I thought might match: gold glitter gems, sparkles, dots, stars. I've got all kinds of stuff that I pulled. This is a 4th of July sort of themed pack that, hey, will work great for Christmas. These are super old, but those triangles could be put together to make a Christmas tree. Lots of red and gold, and so I just stuck all of those here in the front. And then over here I have embellishment packs that are just a little bit bigger. So I've got a lot of wood shapes that have tree shapes or stars. I've got this that I've had for years from Hobby Lobby that I really want to use. Some other packs from Hobby Lobby. I like to get their embellishments. My kids love to make ornaments and cards, and their embellishments work perfectly for that. So I've got a bunch of stuff left over from over the years. Little puffy stickers. I might just use this little red bow. I thought that was cute. Believe, again, that's that more yellowy, really yellowy gold, so we'll see if I use that. A lot of stuff, like I've had this in my stash for a long time, and if I don't use it this year, I probably will give it to my daughter. She's started 12 by 12 scrapbooking. If you saw my last scrapbook layout share, a couple of hers were at the end, and she would love this for a Christmas layout. So if I have things in my stash for too long and I'm just really not using them, then I love actually that I can give them to her and not feel guilty about not using it and know that she will use it. All right, so now I've got a lot of, these are like a little bit bigger embellishment sets that can kind of stand on their own back here. So lots of Christmas sets. I probably won't be using silver. I do want to stick to gold in this album, but there's lots of other fun things in this pack that I have left over. I've used several of the stickers. Actually, I don't think the stickers are even in here anymore. This is just these little chipboard pieces. This is definitely not Christmas at all, but there's these little pieces of gold, like you and me. I thought that could work. There's little hearts and stuff. I'm not sure quite what I have left in there. I think I have this whole thing left of this pack, so lots to choose from of just black, white, and gold, and then silver too, but lots that I'll be able to use from here. I think I have this whole thing left because I had a couple packs of these at some point. I've got these little like wood veneer stickers. This was from a Hip Kit Club kit that my sister-in-law never used these from the kit, so she gave them to me, but they're silver, so I'm not sure I'm going to be using them. These are pretty bright, but I put them in here for the red. These were an embellishment pack from Tuesday morning, so we'll see. And then I've got some little like sparkle flourishes, and these have like trees and ornaments in there. So then we've got, these are really, really old, but I thought that these craft borders might look nice because there is that toffee craft color in the Christmas Story collection. I've got a couple of thickers sets that some of the things in there might be able to work. These are like iridescent white. Not sure that's going to work, but put it in there anyway. This is something else from that mini kit, or that mini album kit that I talked about. There's lots of, this is like a black chipboard. There's lots of stars and hearts. I'm not sure if you can see it with the glare. And then there's some titles: True Story, that may or may not go, might, Cherish, One Day, Real. So if you had that mini kit and you haven't used it all, then some of that might be able to work in a December daily album. I've got some cork shapes. I don't know, I might be able to recolor these if I don't want that cork color. My gold paint pen will definitely work. I'm not sure I'll use any of this, maybe a little bit. Some of that green might go, but this is not quite the right colors, but I don't know, some of it might work. This is also from that mini kit. There were some pages that were cut out. So if you're not going to use a page protector and you do want to use a page that you actually punch the holes in, these are 6 3/4 inches wide by 8 inches, or you could go as much as 8 1/4 inches tall, because with the seams of the page protector, that's how tall the pages are, but these are just 8 inches. And then I actually used one of those as a guide to cut this transparency, and I'll show you my transparency pages when we get to that, because this Christmas tree that I showed you, I'm not going to use this. This was just my guide to cut it, and it will be my guide for the holes, but I actually want this to go on a transparency, and I cut out another one of these cut files, and I filled in, I did the hide contour in Cricut Design Space and hid all of the contours of those open pieces so I can create a back for it as well and put it on this transparency. So the back of the transparency is actually silver. So I don't know, maybe I could introduce some silver to this album. We will see. But that's my plan for that page. I have another cut file that I am using for the front of my album, and this will go more in the back because I want to kind of space them out since they have similar looks. But the other one is going to, I cut it bigger and it's going to be an actual page on its own. So I'll show you that once we get done with this little share. I've got a bunch of pocket cards here too, all of my Christmas pocket cards from over the years that I would really like to use. Not all of the colors will work. And then I really like this system. So I have these little pockets. They're like open on 2 sides. I don't think that they're like the job ticket pockets, but I got them on Amazon. I'll link them down below. I'll find what exactly they're called, but they're handy for this. I used to store some paper in here and didn't like that for the system, but it's working well for this because I have all of my types of paper organized and just standing in here. So this is all of my like specialty paper, foil and glitter paper, and then I've got some like foiled patterned paper that I've had for years and years. I've used a lot of this, and this is all I have left. I would love to use that up. So I've got that just standing in here. All of my sort of smaller pieces of the pattern paper that I might use, a lot of this is Christmas Story. And then I've got some other pattern papers mixed in here as well. And then I've got one for just black cardstock, and I'm sticking mostly to the black core cardstock so you don't have that white core showing. I do have some white core cardstock in here as well, but most of it that I'm going to be using in this album, especially for these cut files, because they're so delicate, I used the black core cardstock, not only so that you wouldn't see the white core when I cut it on my Cricut, but also because that black core cardstock is heavier, and so it makes it a little sturdier. So I've got one of those for white, I've got one of those for colored cardstock, and I just threw a lot of scraps in here because I know that with this smaller size album, I want to go to the scraps before I cut into a 12 by 12. These are some pattern papers that are cut into, but they're bigger pieces. And then I've got the transparencies that I mentioned. So this is from an old fundamentals pack years and years ago from Close to My Heart. So this is where I cut that one out of. And then I've got a whole bunch of other patterns as well, because I really like the idea of how Ali Edwards offers some transparency pieces. They're already cut to size, and she's got packs and they're printed and all of that for the December daily products that are available. But I have so much already in my stash that I thought I would use some of those ideas. She's got so many great ideas, but I've got so much product to use, so I will be transferring some of those ideas to my project. I've got some other specialty papers that are like gold foiled, and then some other like whole pieces of patterns that I may or may not use. I just kind of went through and pulled out some patterns from my stash that I liked and that I thought might work. It's probably going to be a little too bright, but we'll see. I've got an embellishment pack from Crate Paper from years ago that has some little gold stars and stuff that I thought I might use. This is just holding things up. Okay, so this is what I'm using to make things a lot easier. And I mentioned this last month when I did a Halloween album. So the creative design team has been doing collaborations with this sketchbook, and last month I showed my Halloween album. I'm doing an album for Halloween through the year, so I've put that on hold for now because I'm working on this project. But this is a sketchbook that the creative design team is offering that's all 6x8 sketches. So it's making a lot of this process a lot easier. I finally got mine printed at Staples, and so it's got some intro pages, some tips, some prompts of pictures to get, and then there are 46 sketches in here. Most of them are 6x8 pages, and they've got the cutting dimensions and everything. And then once you flip to the back, you've also got 6x4 pocket pages. So these are the pages that have the 2 4x6 photos in them. And then we also have the pages that have 4 3x4 photo spots in them. So that is the sketchbook that we're offering, and I will link this in the description below. Click see more down below this video in YouTube to access the description area. And then these are those page protectors. So let me put it on here so you can see those. So here is the 6x4. So I'll be using these. And then we've got the ones that have the 3x4 spots. So, and these are really nice, sturdy page protectors. They're like really, really nice, high quality ones. I love Close to My Heart's page protectors. And then there is the 6x8 size. So these are the ones that will fit a full 6x8 page in there. And that's what I'll mostly be using. And then I'll mix in those other ones. Let me clean this up and I'll show you my album and my plans for it. Okay, so this photo is going to be my intro photo, and you'll notice I've got it printed twice. One of them is slightly bigger, and that's because in all of my overthinking, I was trying to decide if I wanted this to be outside of a page protector, which would mean I would need the holes and it would have to be a little wider, or if I wanted it in the page protector. Ultimately, I decided I wanted it in the page protector. Let me bring in my Versamat so that you can see this contrast a little bit better. Now, here's another thing that I overthink about. And if you are like me and you overthink about things and you like things to be very organized and have a plan for how your flow is going to work ahead of time, I'm hoping that some of this that I'm going to share with you will help, because I was just going back and forth so much that it delayed me actually starting to create this album, and I didn't want to get too far behind. We're already a week into the month at this point, and I just wanted to get started. I do already have a bunch of my photos printed, and I just wanted to get going. I wanted to have my plan. So this is what I'm doing. I'm gonna have this as my first page. Now, one of the things I was overthinking about is this is my birthday, which was November 30th. It is before December. So I kept thinking, well, am I gonna include this? But I really wanted to include this. I loved this picture of me with the Starbucks that my husband brought me on my birthday, looking at our tree all lit up and decorated, and our mantle that he just built. He just built this, and I whitewashed the brick, and I just love the look of this picture. I just love it, and I wanted it in here, but I was struggling with the fact that it didn't happen in December. So what I've decided to do is make it like an intro page. Like it's going to be my page that represents the rest of the album. And then this is one that is also a Paige Evans cut file that I backed, and I used the same black core cardstock. So this is really nice and heavy. And this, actually Chelsea had done one very similar, and I really liked hers. So I'm just going to actually punch holes in this, and this is going to be my opening of my album, and then you'll flip it over. I'm going to actually do some journaling in my gold paint pen on the back. So here is my thin gold paint pen. It will write on black, and I've already written out my journaling in a note on my phone, and so I will, I don't have to think about it as I go, and I'll just transfer it onto here. And then the other thing is we did a train ride the Sunday of Thanksgiving weekend, so it was still in November, but it was a Christmas train ride, so I want to include it in this book, and I was really struggling with putting a number to it. And well, I was going back and forth in my head like, well, why would I even use numbers then if they don't represent the days? That didn't happen in December. Why am I going to assign a day to it? What I decided to do, and this was partly help from Ali Edwards, but each number, like I'm going to correspond the numbers to a photo that happened that day as best I can. But there's not something that happens that's, you know, magical and Christmassy every single day, right? Like during the week, my kids are in school, I'm working, and, you know, there's not really necessarily a lot of exciting things that are happening. So what I'm doing is taking pictures of us watching a Christmas movie at night, or what the elf was doing that morning, or my favorite ornaments on the tree. And there's some of those prompts in that sketchbook that I showed you that I'll link below. So those days that don't have something happening is where I will fill in that train ride. And I'm just getting over the fact that it didn't happen in December, and my journaling and my story for that day will correlate accordingly. Like it will say, you know, we did this train ride in November on Thanksgiving weekend, and we'll talk about that. So yeah, that is my plan for December daily. I'm going to be back tomorrow with a process video for day 1 and maybe day 2 or another day, and then we will go from there. I'll be posting more of December dailies so that you can get some more ideas and see how I'm doing this throughout the month. I probably won't do a process video for every page, but after the month is over, or at least after Christmas is over, I will come back and do a flip through of my whole album. So if this video was helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more scrapbooking ideas. I'm going to leave a playlist here on the screen with the rest of the creative design team's days of December or December daily videos, so you can check all of those out and see how they're doing their projects and using those sketches as well. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.